items might be frozen at best. Most of them should not be frozen. If you use good ASQ and 5 high and threshold minimums, keep good usage, lead time, and safeties, your system will do about 96% of your SKUs better than we ever could manually for 2 reasons. A, it's doing the math, and B, it's dynamic. Not like us. When did you set your safeties last time? 10 years ago, and I haven't changed them since? Well, everyone's following me. Replenishment method. That only applies to SX. Fax and A+ still use all this just standard. In SX, you have to tell it, I want to use the EOQ methodology, which you'll see either in a little bit or tomorrow. But there you have to explain in SX what replenishment method you want to use. Load factors. If you got a vendor that's based on 10,000 pound minimum for freight, you have to go load your weights up or the system doesn't know what 10,000 pounds is when you add up the products. If it's cube based, you have to load your cubes. All right, so that's all that is. And then, of course, package quantities, like we talked about. What's my buy, sell, and transfer pack? Because on different systems, I can buy it in one unit, I like to sell it in something else, and I might transfer it in different units. So again, you have to load up your package quantities. Those are the last few things that we've talked about through the day that bring this all together. So let's bring this home. Before I go there, any questions? I'm getting ready to wrap us up. We're going to do pretty good here. Just want to do a review and set the stage for tomorrow. Roger set the tone already, boy. The cocktails, everyone's just keeping those hands down now. There's enough your company can't control. I love this one. It's difficult to get a return on your asset, it's the ads. The more inventory you have, the more exposure you have to it becoming dead inventory. Yet, I'll just add in there, yet that inventory investment is the only aspect of your business that's entirely in your control and has everything to do with your success. I know it doesn't sound glamorous, but we are distributors. And what do distributors do? We are the inventory management experts. We're supposed to know how to procure, warehouse, and sell better than anyone else out there. And what this is saying is both sides. If you screw it up, you're going to have a lot of exposure and dead inventory. Profitability sucks. But you can't go to the other side because also we have to sell inventory to make money. That's how we make money. And if you don't have the inventory on the shelf to sell, or you get all your customers going to the competition not buying, you're going to go out of business. This is that balance we've been talking about all day of profitability and customer experience. And I love to ask this question at this point. It'll get you thinking. How many have ever gone out there? We normally buy, let's say, a 30-day supply. The vendor came in, offered you incentive to buy a certain amount, so you went out there and let's say you bought 120 days. So you buy 120 days, but 60 days later, it's all gone. How many have felt that before? What's that mean? I just thought I bought 120 days of inventory, but 60 days later, it was gone. Your inventory policy is the reins holding back your sales and customers. By the way we're restricting inventory, turns, everyone, we're actually losing money because we thought we bought 120 days worth and sold it in 60. So just go through that and think about that. And if that's happening to you, you go, oh, we're holding back the reins because apparently we can sell a lot more if what? We had it on the shelf. High service level. If you have a good service level, good fill rate, on-time delivery, accuracy, it maintains and gains customers. I grew up in the contractor business. It was absolutely amazing. Word of mouth is anyone that feeds contractors, they get together in the golf course, they go to the bars together, and it's an amazing process. We picked up so many customers we didn't even know about just because we did a stellar job. It kept our current customers, and we had customers knocking at the door. We became the distributor of choice for our customers, which then made us the distributor of choice for our vendors. We had a great, awesome PET program, process education technology. We became the distributor of choice for employees. They wanted to come work for us. Vendors wanted us selling our products, and customers going, can I be your customer? That's where you want to be, all right? This is where you want to be. And if you have a good fill rate, less back orders. If I've got a 98% fill rate, every 100 lines, I'm going to have 2 back orders. Back order, I'm sorry, is a fire. What's the best order I can have? Give me a 10-line item order. Give me normal quantities. Let me go out to the warehouse, pick it, ship it, complete, invoice it, and what? Done. Let's collect the money and take the next order. Every back order I have is what? something from yesterday coming into today still to deal with. So if I got a 98% fill rate, I'm going to get 2 back orders per 100. If I have an 88% fill rate, which a lot of you have, I'm going to have 12 back orders, 6x more that I've got to go retouch tomorrow and work on. That's a lot of money, everyone, and a lot of work. Low service. It first starts with lost money. What are we talking about there? Hey, I'll take 10. Oh, we only have 9. Do you want to back order it? No. We just lost sale on $1. Now, we haven't lost them yet, but we're losing money. Now, if we do that too many times, and they keep having to go down the road, and the road, when they go to pick that, remember that little electrical plate that we were out of stock where we started this morning with that contractor? So they drove down to the competition to get that one that I didn't have, and they're sitting there at the counter, and they're watching the picker, and the wall plates are falling out of the bin as the guy's picking it. Where do you think they're going tomorrow, everyone? Right past your place to the competition. Starts with lost money and it turns into lost customers. Now there's a way that you guys fix this, one of 2 ways. What's the most common way? I love it. Oh yeah, we screwed it up, we didn't have it. So what do? Here, let me give you a better price. And we keep lowering the price, winning them back, lowering the price. It's not long you guys are selling below cost, but you'll make it up in volume, don't worry. Low turns. Profitability side of things. A little bit punchy here. I'm sorry, you guys. What's low turns? Now, we didn't talk about gross margin, return on investment, or turn and earn. It can come up tomorrow, but most of you know turns, turn and earn. We're looking at our inventory investment and how much it's making for us. If we're low turns, hey, we're getting that 1.2 turns grant, that's killing the bottom line because we have so much inventory, the cost of carry is just eating us up. And some inventory is definitely not working. That company that had 68% surplus long-term would sit there for a year before they sold it. Only 32% of their inventory was working. 68% was doing squat nothing. Everyone there? Nothing. And it's stealing the dollars from the things that I really need. So even when you have low turns, which means you have a lot of inventory, our service is normally suffering because it's not low turns that we have the right inventory. We have a little bit of the right and usually a whole bunch of the wrong. Well, then high turns is great. No, I come back there and right where we were. If your turns are too high, here's Eric right to the T. His cost of purchasing was tearing him up, and freight, he couldn't keep up. The people couldn't keep up. The service was killing us. We were buying every day. We were putting out fires, and we're probably paying a lot of premium freight. We moved it out and slowed it down to what the company's infrastructure could handle. High turns is just as bad. And service levels probably still suffering. Why? When you turn it that quick, and again, I let it out of the bag this morning. Most of you are trying for just in time, but most companies that turn it beyond their infrastructure capability have just too late inventory, not just in time inventory. It's always coming in 2, 3, 4 days after you need it. And again, I saw the smiles this morning. That's a lot of you in that world. All right? Expectations. Do you want turns or do you want the bottom line maximized? I go into many companies. You can go look at your PAR results. Those companies that are our highest return on total asset companies, our highest profitable companies, are the same turns or lower turns than everyone else that's less profitable. They're investing it smarter, they're servicing their customer well, and they're making good money on all of their inventory. They're investing smart. But I ask executives every day, what do you want me to do? Maximize your turns for or your bottom line? And then we go through this, and a lot of times we'll take a 6-turn company to 4 turns, and a 4% bottom line to 8% bottom line, and they're going, every day of the week, we'll take that back, every day of the week. A couple things just to walk out of here with, and we'll build on this tomorrow. How do you get stellar customer experience at the lowest cost? And if you notice, you're going to see something here. Good customer experience, good profitability. It's the same list, kind of. It starts with what I should stock and what I should not stock. Do I have a methodology around stocking? And do I have a certain amount of hits? Am I looking at it, or is it a data-free conversation? Is it the salesperson can bark louder? We stock it. Can the purchasing person and the budget person bark louder? We don't stock it. That's not where you want to be. You want data. Realistic order point, a realistic line point in EOQ. Good usage, lead time and safety, proper targets, and EOQs. Replenish when we go below order point. I'm going to keep pushing that. You got to get out of the review cycle world. Review worthy items every day that go below order point. And then, if you need 40 to get up to line point, you can't only put 20 on the PO. You're going to be short, and it's not going to keep it till the next time you need to buy. So we try to manipulate. We wait till after we go through order point because I'm not ready to buy. Then we're surprised when we're stocked out. If you don't buy at order point, you're most likely going to stock out. Then it said to buy 40, but we're going to get smart. We're only going to buy 20. So 15 days into a 30-day cycle, we're back at below order point, and now what do? Use order point every day and replenish back up to line point and EOQ. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the timeline in more detail, but I want to introduce it now. Most of us have gotten in a habit, once we put the PO on the system, when do we think about it again? When it comes in or it's late. What was this one?
When the customer asks why it's not there yet.
Yeah, okay. Let me take this a little bit further. We have a habit of we put a PO on and we forget about it unless it's late or something comes up. But let me just walk you through something. Let's say we've got a vendor out there, this particular product has a 30-day lead time. So 7-day safety. So when we're down to 37 days supply, everyone with me? A 30-day lead time, 7-day safety. My order point's at 37 days. So at 37 days, we buy it. We got a 37-day supply on the shelf. It should take 30 days to come in. Everything should be happy. What if tomorrow someone comes in and spikes you for half of that 37-day supply that you have? It's a good sale. We just didn't expect it. How many days of inventory do we now have left? 37, that'd be what, 38, 19 and a half days, 18 and a half. Let's call it 19. Everyone with me? They took half of it. So yesterday we had 37 days. They took half. We have 19 days worth of inventory. We placed a PO that's going to take 30 days to come in one day ago. So how long until this PO comes in? 29 days, but we're going to run out of stock when? In 18 days. Everyone following this? And we'll just sit there and let that PO roll out. Here's where I'm going with this. Once we place a PO, things are not static. Things happen during that. It's dynamic, and we have to watch it. Here's another one. We place it at 37 days supply. It's going to take 30 days, and they're out doing a cycle count, and it turns out we don't have any of that inventory. Well, actually, out of stock, but since there's a PO on the system, it's not telling your buyers to do anything. You with me? Because it's above line point coming in. Yet we're out of stock, and we're sitting happy going, I don't have to worry about this PO for 30 days. This is what we call a gap or a hole in the timeline, or something has shifted since we placed the PO, and now, even though everything was perfect the day we did it, someone spiked us for usage, we lost some of the inventory, we damaged it, and now it won't come in time for when we're going to run out. Very simple stuff, simple math. I'll show it to you. That's what we call the too late. There's the opposite of this. I place the PO today. I've got a 37-day supply. It's going to be here in 30 days. And tomorrow, a customer returns 90 days worth of good inventory. You guys just realized, so now I've got a 90 plus 3, I've got 107 days of inventory. I've got a PO that's going to arrive in 30 days, and here's the kicker. I'll watch you guys 30 days later, watch it go late, and actually call and expedite the vendor to hurry up to get it here. All right? You should have been calling and what? Canceling the PO. Or if we find a bunch of inventory tomorrow. The point is, you guys all have tools that we put on now that says once you cut the PO, you can't forget about it. Now we have to watch. Did something change over that 30 days that it's coming in? Did I need to speed it up or slow it down? We have to watch it, and it's just going to watch it every day for you to make sure everything's still in line for it to come in on time and not too early. That one, I told you there's a few things I'm going to push really hard. Switching over to worthy items below order point instead of review cycle. Using ASQ and 5 highs and working the timeline. Those are 3 huge things that is probably 5, 6, 7, 8 points in your guys' fill rate. Right there. And all of you are wondering, how do I go get this fill rate? We don't have to take out the shotgun and put a bunch of inventory. Let's get smarter and put the right inventory and watch it right. And of course, the last part, let's get rid of what we don't need. Well, how's that help my customer experience, Grant? Every dollar I've got tied up that's going to be there a year later that I don't need is a dollar I don't have to put into the right inventory or back into cash flow. It's that simple. Anyone have an unlimited budget? You can buy as much as you want. It doesn't matter? No, none of us. And of course, every dollar sitting out there I don't need is costing me 24 cents on the dollar right off your bottom line. If you got $10 million of surplus inventory, I'll go down there and say, whatever your bottom line was, we took $2.4 million off of your bottom line to pay for that, almost said a bad word, that stuff that you won't need for over a year. Same stuff. Pricing optimization, strategic sourcing, of course, that's helping us maximize our gross margin. Okay, and then gotta measure. We gotta go out and look where we're at, how we're doing. Do we have a goal for fill rate? Do we have a goal for turns? Do we have a goal for surplus inventory? And are we working towards it? Or are we all just going through the motions every day and looking at the P&L and the balance sheet at the end of the year and seeing what we did and hope we got something? That's not how to run a business in today's world. You would not, now again, and I love to talk, I'll get you out of here. This measurement, any company that's not measuring or not measuring well with no objectives, I go, here's what you're doing, and this brings it home. Anyone that has kids. Oh, so that's the same as you sent your kid off in the kindergarten, and there's no report cards, there's nothing that comes back, and 12 years later, you're hoping you get a pass. And that's what we're really doing. On a yearly basis, I watch all of you not measure, and a year later, you're going, cow, our turns suck, or our fill rates suck. We're going to work on that and work up to what you want. Your kids are going to pass because we worked with them in kindergarten and saw the report card and where they needed help in first grade, and we set objectives and we did things. That's how you maintain and optimize things, objectives and measurement. Systematic approaches are 90% of stellar customer experience at the lowest cost. Everything we talked about, 90%, not all of it, there's still gut feel, we need that human, but 90% of what we did today was very systematic, okay? It made sense 90% of the time. The key is to devise systems that allow you to give your customers what they want every time, accurately, consistently, and efficiently. ACE. If you fix the system, the problem is eliminated for good. Remember the finger pointing this morning? Oh, we stocked out yesterday, good customer, we all pointed fingers at each other, went on to our normal business and did the same crap again tomorrow. Let's not point fingers, let's go fix the problem, and it's fixed for good. Is it stock? Should it be? Is it time to replenish? How you read through it? These are the things your system should be already telling you. We've talked about these. And if it's not telling you this, you're making the job of providing customer service at the lowest cost a lot harder than it needs to be. Tomorrow, we're going to take this order point, line point, this customer experience and this profitability and wrap it into the 10 steps. How do we get a good order point, line point, and EOQ? Well, good parameters and setup. How are we using usage controls? How are we using safety? What are the fences? Are we collecting good data, usage and lead time? Are we forecasting properly, taking the parameters and the data and coming up with a good order point, line point, and EOQ? Is our purchase net available accurate? On hand minus committed plus incoming. So that gives us the order point, line point, EOQ, the model we were building. But now the next thing is the tools. If you have a great order point and line point, but you don't use it, you only review the stuff every 2 weeks, it's still worthless. So we use this to develop the model, the order point, line point, but then we have to come back and now actually replenish each day for things that have gone below order point. Watch our timeline, too early, too late, and get rid of surplus. Those are the 3 things that actually cause the actions. This gets it ready. This is the work being done to get the stellar customer experience, lowest cost to serve. Then we have to wrap good proactive maintenance around it, good measurement, and controlled replenishment. Not very often anymore, but I still go into companies where everyone can get access to file maintenance and they're changing stuff and changing order points and line points. Oh, some smiles. I still see we have some of those in here still. And everyone can cut a PO. I was with a company in Minneapolis. I was surprised. It was about 8 years ago. It was a very, I won't talk too much because I'll give it away, but it was a very pet-oriented company. They actually had a dog run inside the building. The owner had a dog. Everyone got to bring their dogs in. I looked over and then the darn owner's dog was cutting a PO for Elpo. You know, anyone could cut a PO in that company. You guys have the idea. You have to control it, what the parameters are, the maintenance, and who can cut a PO. In case you're not a graphics person, just the same thing. All right, same thing. Steps 1 through 4 gives us good numbers. 5 through 7 gives us good tools. 8 through 9 and 10 help us drive optimized results. That's what we're going to do over the next 2 days. Took everything that we've learned today and apply it into your systems through the 10 steps to inventory management. The world is changing, everyone. For most of it's changed. Yesterday, again, wasn't yesterday, but some of you are still doing this. I've heard more about Excel spreadsheets still today and calculating. I'm going, what? This is 2015. There might be an Excel spreadsheet we need, I don't know, once every 10 years. I'm being sarcastic, but again, a lot of us are still locked here. We've got great technology, especially around this world we're talking about today, good inventory management. So again, we used to think about freight and review cycle. We now talk about order point, order cycle, and EOQ. Turns and profit dominate it. Profits and service balance is where you need to be. Inaccurate data and parameters, that was always where we used to be. We need to be good data and information managers today. 4 glass walls, now what's that mean? I didn't hit it. We have a tendency to throw purchasing in 4 glass walls, not log loss sales, have a bunch of garbage usage, lead times aren't good, our purchase not available on hand, and our paper float's a mess. But I kind of hinted on it, they're supposed to have this magic crystal ball that makes it all work. We don't. We count on sales to give us good usage. We count on the warehouse to give us good on hands. Bless you. We count on sales to keep our open orders clean. Count on you to keep our POs clean. It takes all of us to come together within that company to get what you're looking for. Purchasing in its 4 glass walls won't work. We need good communication and team. Lack of procedures, good processes and procedures. Learn from Bill. Remember that this morning? Actually, I think I switched the 2 names around. That was our new receiver. I think Frank learned from Bill this morning, or Bill learned from Frank. But that's that osmosis training. No. Education and understanding. Paper and pencil, technology and efficiency. Buyers and inventory control, where a lot of you've been. We're now inventory and asset managers. That's where we need to be. Again, and this is what this is. What's tomorrow? I'm going to have someone just slide over for 1 sec. I think it's right you, Fernando. Is it? Nope. Who's blocking that? Oh, thank you. That whole time I could have moved that. I apologize, you guys. I didn't want to say anything. If your company's stuck in yesterday, a lot of you are. We still use review cycles. We still use paper. We're still inventory control freaks, that type of thing. If your company's stuck in yesterday or having trouble with today, I don't know how to implement, you're going to be in real trouble. And how are you going to survive tomorrow? Because it's changing faster and faster and faster, and you're going to get left behind, and you will not be able to compete. It's easy to compete against some of the big box guys. I know that's where you run in trouble. Their price. There's still companies that are looking for, or customers looking for service, and you can go, wow, folks, in that world and do better. 25 years ago, or 20 years ago, when Home Depot was getting ready to buy everyone up, and everyone was what? Anyone that worked in the Home Depot world when they were HD Supply? Oh, God, it's going to kill us. They didn't make it very long because their approach is not what their customers wanted, and contractors didn't stick around. Now, HD's changed their model back to a standard distribution. They've split them back out. Anyone familiar with that? But again, it didn't do what we thought. Size doesn't mean you're going to win. He studied to be a scientist, and that's the way he approaches business. He thinks about everyone's job and how to get the most out of that job function. That's the way I think is what I'm pointing out. And again, how do we go and put a process around this instead of just, what do I do next? I'm random. There's a process to what we do. Everyone's responsibility within your organization, and this is that where purchasing's not in 4 glass walls. Profitability is everyone's responsibility, from the CEO to the newest person hired. Servicing the customer, everyone's responsibility within your organization. On hand, available, and purchase not available. Good, accurate usage, flawless back order handling. Help maintain the stocking list. Prevention and disposition of excess, and smart, controlled replenishment. Everyone needs to play their part to bring this together. Where we started our day this morning, everyone. Even if you're not going to be with us for the next 2 days, I saw notes, people were talking to me, all kinds of things. All of you have become aware of some things today. If you go back next week and you don't do something with them, it was a worthless day or it's a worthless week. Awareness without action is worthless. Anything we want to talk about before we call it a day? I always love asking that at the end of the day. Thank you, Roger. All right, everyone. Well, thank you, someone. I don't know who did that. An apple for who's the brown noser? Apple for the teacher. I like always doing this session because we get to know each other. We joke around a little bit. You know, it's inventory management. I mean, how do you even explain? People are going, what are you getting ready to talk about for 3 days? Inventory management. You know what I mean? They're going, what? You know. So again, we got to add a little bit to it. Hey, we've got a reception going on. Go down around the lobby, by the pool, and inside. I forget the name of the room. You'll see it. It might be I don't know. It's just a little room down around the corner. You'll follow everyone past the lobby. Ask everyone. Again, got a couple beers, wines. There's some soft drinks. There's some hors d'oeuvres in there. Drink responsibly, please. Have some hors d'oeuvres. Last year, I think we only had 2 people get locked up, so saved us a little bit on lunches the next day. No. Everyone enjoy themselves. We start again at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll all come down and do a little bit of networking. Yes? Yeah, you can leave stuff in here where they lock up the room. I mean, I wouldn't leave your computer and stuff, but you can leave your books, things like that. See everyone at the reception in a little bit.